The night was calm in Dallas, Texas, on November 28, 1976. Streetlights flickered over empty roads, and the whole city seemed wrapped in peace. Everything felt ordinary until, in just a matter of seconds, that peace was shattered forever. A police officer named Robert Wood pulled over a car. It was supposed to be a routine traffic stop, nothing more than another moment in a long night shift. But this stop would change lives in the worst possible way. A single gunshot suddenly ripped through the silence. Officer Wood collapsed right there on the road. In that instant, a murder had been committed, and the quiet night turned into chaos. Panic spread quickly among the police. They needed answers fast and began searching for whoever was responsible. Not far from the scene, two men whose paths had crossed only by chance soon found themselves pulled into the investigation. One was a teenage drifter named David Harris, just 16 years old at the time. The other was Randall Dale Adams, a 27-year-old man simply trying to figure out his life. Adams was not a criminal and had no reason to run from anything. He was just in the wrong place at the worst possible time. When investigators started putting the pieces together, something went terribly wrong with their focus. Instead of looking closely at Harris, suspicion slowly shifted toward Adams. Once that decision was made, everything else began to fall into place, whether the facts truly supported it or not. The case moved forward quickly, and the prosecution built what looked like a solid story for the courtroom. At the center of it all stood David Harris. He took the stand, looked the jury straight in the eyes, and pointed directly at Randall Dale Adams. He claimed that Adams was the one who had pulled the trigger that night. That single moment changed everything in the trial. Harris's words carried more weight than the actual truth for many in the room. What the jury did not fully understand was that Harris had a strong reason to lie. He was still a minor, so no matter what he had done, he could not be sentenced to death. Randall Dale Adams, however, could face that ultimate punishment. The system quietly made its choice and built the entire case around Adams. Witnesses came forward with shaky and inconsistent stories. Some evidence did not quite add up, and important details were either ignored or quietly buried. Still, the narrative held strong enough to convince the court. In 1977, the verdict came down. Guilty. Randall Dale Adams was sentenced to death for a crime he did not commit. Imagine standing in that courtroom, hearing a sentence meant for someone else, while knowing deep down you are innocent. Adams was sent to prison, where every passing day felt like borrowed time. The walls closed in around him, the years dragged on slowly, and hope began to fade with each one. His death sentence was later reduced to life in prison, but the reality of being trapped remained the same. Then something unexpected happened. A filmmaker named Errol Morris grew interested in the case. The more he dug into the details, the less sense the official story made. Stories did not match, witnesses contradicted themselves, and small details started to feel very important. Morris kept investigating through interview after interview. In 1988, he released the documentary The Thin Blue Line, which challenged the entire conviction. Under growing pressure, the cracks finally showed, and the truth began to surface at last. David Harris eventually admitted he was the one who shot Officer Wood. Not Adams, never Adams. In 1989, after 12 long years behind bars, Randall Dale Adams' conviction was overturned. He walked out of prison a free man, but those 12 stolen years could never be fully restored.